Hello, my name is Mark Petit, and I wanted to welcome you to the Sauce Place, where we dish the sauce, especially about business, finance, or anything else that's going to keep you moving forward. So today I wanted to talk about Airbnb customers, messaging your Airbnb customer on a high level, what that needs to look like, and how you make sure that you retain your customers and get those 5-star reviews. So I see, you see the words on the board here. Let's sound it out and see what we come up with, okay? So it says, the customer is not always right. We know one of the old sayings is the customer's always right, which to me always meant that we have to do exactly what they're saying. Say they come in and they say, this should be $1 and it's $20. You need to mark it down $19 to make it $1 because the customer's always right. So we know those days are long gone, but that doesn't mean that customer service should be lacking. So I like to say the customer is not always right. However, the customer is always heard. Now, there's a difference. The customer being heard means that you're acknowledging them. So we're going to go through a couple of bullet points right now and just get into this a little bit further. As long as the customer is acknowledged and you react proportionately, then you should be in good shape. So what does that mean? So say you get concerned about the Wi-Fi code not working at your short-term rental. That's one thing. Let's, make sure that we give them the information. They have the Wi-Fi, right? Problem solved. There's a leak, a huge leak in the bathroom, and there's water all over the floor. You're going to get a little more excited, I hope, and make sure that you take care of that concern. So we can see that it's two different things. So you want to make sure that you respond proportionately to what the concern is. When doing that, you don't want to be super reactive, right? You don't want to just say, okay, well, I'm calling the plumber right now. There's a lot of questions that you have to ask in each situation to make sure that you're sending the right response to them. So it's always good to take a pause and just kind of think the situation out so that you can respond the best way possible. Now, say it is some type of leak. Are they in a position where they can turn the water off? Maybe under the sink, they can just turn the knobs. Is it behind the toilet where they can turn the knob very easily and get the leak stopped for now? Is it something where we had one where it was the shower, it was leaking, and the knob was actually stuck. It came off and it was stuck. So it was stuck in an on position. So the water's coming out. There was no way to stop it without turning off the main water. Now, they did have somebody there that had experience going out to the street and turning off the main water. But in a situation like that, where maybe you don't have somebody comfortable to do that, or maybe it's an apartment or somewhere where that's not an option, then you want to just make sure that you respond appropriately to the situation. So not being reactive and thinking the situation through means that you're going to ask questions. A lot of questions. You need to know exactly what the problem is, when did the problem start, and what knowledge or skills do they have about the problem. Now, if it's somebody that's possibly older or that has not had a lot of experience with technology, you don't want to tell them to, find the router and go ahead and unplug the router, plug it back in, do this with the Wi-Fi code, reset the codes, different things like that. You don't want to put them through exercises that they won't feel comfortable doing or don't have experience doing. Sometimes you get people that do have experience, and a lot of times they will forward that experience and say, hey, this is something that I have a lot of experience with and I can do this. I can make sure that, I plugged in routers all the time. I do this all the time, or maybe I'm a plumber by trade. So I have a lot of experience maybe turning something off or doing something in the meantime. So with that being said, we never want to be reactive, okay? Another thing is never blame the customer, at least not directly, on the problem that you're having. Let's just take a small example. They'll say, what's the Wi-Fi code? I can't find the Wi-Fi code. That's a big one. Now, 90% of us have the Wi-Fi code in the welcoming message. However, they didn't read the welcoming message. No one reads the welcoming message, right? So the code is lost somewhere inside there. Now, I could say directly, did you read your welcoming message? And I've seen hosts actually respond this way. Did you read your welcoming message? It's in there. Now, as a customer, that's going to basically kind of put me a little bit at odds, because you're basically saying I didn't read or I don't read. And it's true that a lot of people don't. However, it's not really our job to call them on that. We're trying to provide this relaxing experience for them. So how can we go about that a better way? Let's just say this. Instead of saying it's in the messaging, why not say it in a professional way? This is what I like to use. I know it's a very long message that we send welcoming you in, and we've had a lot of people say that it kind of gets lost in there. However, the Wi-Fi code is this, and then type that code out. Don't have them go look at their welcoming message. Save them some time, just give them the code, and you let them know that you did have it in the welcoming message, but you show them, you didn't make them feel stupid or belittle them. You let them know that, hey, a lot of times people don't, see it. It's a lot of stuff I'm sending you at one time. Here's the Wi-Fi code. Sorry about that. There's no reason for you to get into a back and forth with the customer, especially about something as small as the Wi-Fi code. So you want to also take the appropriate action that's cost effective, and that's going to lead to a good review. So when I say cost effective, I know that early on in my Airbnb short-term rental experience, I used to always kind of throw the kitchen sink at every problem. So if somebody said there was a leak, I was on the phone with a plumber, sending them over there. There was a lockout. What? I need a locksmith right now. Well, it's going to be $300. I don't care. I need them right now. I don't want to get a bad review. When sometimes taking a moment, like we were saying before, troubleshooting the problem with the customer, 99% of times I was able to get them in the property one way or the other, where we didn't have to have maybe like an emergency service or anything go out and get charged an exuberant amount. A lot of these issues can be fixed fairly cost effectively without doing all that, but you have to ask questions, and you have to get your Airbnb guest on the same page as you. So you guys are like teammates, as opposed to, I need this now, call and get it fixed. One thing I do to make sure that we do build that relationship, if it is something substantial like a lockout, or like I was saying earlier with the plumbing issue, don't hesitate. Their number's there for a reason. Give them a call. Call them directly. That really shows that you are concerned about their well-being, and let them know. Show some empathy. Put yourself in their situation. You're tired usually from driving. Maybe you got off a flight and all you want to do is lay your head down and you can't get into the property. Or all you want to do is lay your head down, take a shower, and the shower's constantly running and there's water everywhere. So you want to put yourself in that situation. How would you like to be treated? I would like to just be heard. Let me know that you're hearing me, and let me know that you're going to take some type of action, and then make sure that the action is taken. So that leads into making sure you follow up on whatever action you took. Say they were able to turn the water off. Say it was just the knob. They turned the water off. However, the next day you do call the plumbing during regular hours, so it's not crazy, and they're going to come out and assess the problem. Now, are you making sure that you took notes to make sure you call the plumber in the morning, and then you're going to check back with the plumber, make sure the problem is fixed or diagnose the problem? And then did you still reach back out to your customer? So I've seen a lot where the professional will come, do whatever job needed to be done, and the host assumes everything is fine, as opposed to checking on them and seeing if they need anything further. A lot of times that will go so far, you actually checking in on them and letting them know, hey, I know you were having this problem and we were able to get the solution for you. Was that enough? How do you feel about it? Do you feel comfortable still staying with us? All those little nuances really help getting that 5-star review each and every time as much as possible. There are going to be situations that you can't avoid. I've gotten dings from the customer on the sound outside, or there was a lot of traffic that day. Things that we have no control over that, what the neighbors are doing, the traffic, things like that. However, everything that we can control within the unit, we do make sure that is superb. And a lot of times, if you do it right and you communicate properly, that will overshadow whatever else happened that day at your property. The second part to this is being proactive. A lot of this stuff can be avoided by making sure that you're staying on top of your stuff and catching it even before it's reported or before it becomes a problem. So what I like to do is send messages that catch concerns before they turn into concerns. So in the welcoming message, I always say, if there's any problems getting in, contact us directly, so that they're not fiddling outside. And I just want them to feel that I'm basically open door, make sure you get in safe. If there's any concerns once you get in, please let me know. So having a welcome message that includes something like that is huge. And if there is a problem, let them know what to do. So you should have maybe a couple of troubleshooting things. If there's a problem with the internet, please do this. Please contact me so I can give you some context and some things to do to troubleshoot it. It's the little things like that that really help. Additionally, have a day one message. So they come that night, they stay. Now it's the morning time, not 6 in the morning, 7, but maybe around 9ish. Send them a message, just checking in, making sure that everything, you had a good evening, making sure everything's going smooth. Do you need anything? And if something does come up where they need some additional help, then just go ahead and correct it. But now you corrected it. Think about it. Day one of their stay, a couple hours into their stay, as opposed to waiting until it becomes an issue. Or I've seen it where they say, well, you never asked about me, you never checked on me, so I didn't report it. And what they'll do is they'll just report it inside the review. And that's where you don't want it reported. Also, you need to fix problems that were reported to you by previous guests. So if I had a guest come and say, Wi-Fi, it was really hard to find the Wi-Fi code. And then I have another guest, it's really hard to find the Wi-Fi code. They're telling me to simplify my process. So instead of sending the Wi-Fi code in the welcome message, maybe you send it in a supplemental message after that. So they have their check-in instructions, but then another message comes through and says, hey, here's the Wi-Fi code. And there's so much technology that can be actually done automatically where it doesn't give you any more work to do. But it's just those little tweaks right there that help you to avoid problems with your customers later on. And then again, like I said, always with the follow through, check on them and check on them again. Like I said, a lot of this can be done automated. Our first day message is automated. And if they're staying with us for a prolonged period, at day 8, I actually send out another message. Hey, just checking on you, making sure you're still okay. Everything's still good there. And those little nuances have helped us to be, a 5-star in communications almost each and every time. So if you follow these things, you'll be in good shape. Additionally, I'll be going into a deeper dive, a longer video, actually on some actual messages that I've received through Airbnb, VRBO, and some others. And then we'll kind of work through them together. I'll show you what I said and how I was able to rehabilitate the stay. It started off here and I was able to get it down here. And then we still were able to get a good 5-star review from a person. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll get that going. And then in the comments, just put any questions you have. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm losing my voice. I'm just getting over a cold, but put any questions you have down below and I'll go through those. And then that'll help me with the next video. All right. Thank you guys for getting on and I appreciate you. And this is the Sauce Place saying bye-bye. Talk soon.